Roxanne Perez wins first main roster title in WWE after injury reshuffle. Roxanne Perez, the fast-rising WWE superstar from Laredo, Texas, has officially claimed her first title on the company's main roster, though it wasn't the fairy tale victory she may have envisioned as a child. On the July 1st episode of WWE Raw, the 22-year-old Perez was unexpectedly awarded one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The moment, while monumental, came under somber circumstances. Perez was chosen to replace Liv Morgan, who suffered a serious shoulder injury during a match on June 16th. Morgan, a two-time women's world champion and one of the top female stars in WWE, is now sidelined for at least 3 months. In Morgan's absence, Perez is now set to team with Raquel Rodriguez, another proud Texan hailing from the Rio Grande Valley. Rodriguez, a powerhouse in the women's division and former tag champion herself, brings experience and strength to the duo. Together, Perez and Rodriguez are now tasked with defending the gold, even as questions linger about the team's chemistry and the circumstances surrounding their formation. For Perez, the moment marks a milestone in what has been a whirlwind year. After years of grinding through the independent scene and making a name for herself in NXT, WWE's developmental brand, Perez was promoted to the main roster just a few months ago. Her transition has been swift, and the company clearly sees star potential in the young Texan. Though her first title win came without a match, it still cements her as a key player in the women's tag team division. Yet the circumstances suggest that there may be more drama to come. A tense introduction to the Judgment Day. Before stepping into her new role as tag champion, Perez had already found herself in the middle of a volatile situation involving one of WWE's most dominant factions, the Judgment Day. Known for its dark aesthetic, elite talent, and internal power struggles, the group currently includes Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, and, until recently, Liv Morgan. Perez was introduced into the orbit of the Judgment Day just weeks before Morgan's injury. Despite early reluctance from the group, Finn Balor personally advocated for her inclusion, stating that Perez could provide the backup that Morgan and Rodriguez clearly lacked. The announcement was met with skepticism, especially from Morgan, who appeared uneasy about sharing the spotlight with a newcomer. Perez's interactions with the faction have stirred speculation among fans and insiders alike. Was she truly accepted into Judgment Day, or was she simply a convenient addition to stir the pot and shift internal dynamics? It's worth noting that the group has never been shy about playing mind games, even with its own members. Balor's motives for adding Perez remain unclear, and Morgan's injury has only deepened the intrigue. Stepping into the spotlight, regardless of how she got here, Perez now finds herself in a high-pressure situation. Taking over for a top-tier star like Liv Morgan is no small task. Not only must she build in-ring chemistry with Raquel Rodriguez on the fly, but she also needs to establish her own identity on the main roster. Perez, whose wrestling style blends agility, technical precision, and resilience, has the tools to thrive. She's already proven herself in NXT, where she captured the NXT Women's Championship and impressed audiences with her maturity beyond her years. Now, with a championship around her waist and a national spotlight on her every move, she'll have the chance to prove that she belongs on WWE's biggest stage. The women's tag team titles have often struggled to gain consistent momentum, largely due to injuries and sudden team shakeups. However, the pairing of Rodriguez and Perez may offer a fresh start. With their shared Texas roots and contrasting styles, Rodriguez's brute strength complementing Perez's speed and finesse, the duo could be exactly what the division needs. What's next for Roxanne Perez? The future remains wide open for Roxanne Perez. Will she remain a loyal tag partner, or could her association with the Judgment Day push her toward a more ruthless, calculated path? And when Liv Morgan eventually returns, how will she respond to being replaced? Could we see Morgan and Perez clash in the ring, or even over the Judgment Day's loyalty? For now, Perez can celebrate a major achievement, her first main roster championship in WWE. Though it came under unexpected circumstances, it's a clear signal that the company sees big things ahead for the Laredo native. And if her rapid rise is any indication, this is just the beginning. Roxanne Perez thrust into title picture amid Liv Morgan's absence, must prove herself at WWE Evolution. Following a surprising turn of events on Monday Night Raw, Roxanne Perez now finds herself in the middle of a major WWE storyline. After Finn Balor and JD McDonough captured the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships earlier that night, Balor pitched a solution to the ongoing Women's Tag Team Championship dilemma. With Liv Morgan off TV recovering from an undisclosed injury, Balor proposed that Perez step in as Raquel Rodriguez's new partner to hold the titles. Backstage, Balor made his case to both Raw and SmackDown general managers, offering Perez as a simple fix that would keep the titles active and the storylines moving forward. The executives agreed, but with a condition: Perez and Rodriguez must defend the championships against 3 other teams at WWE Evolution, the all-women's premium live event scheduled for July 13th on Peacock. Only if they win will they officially be recognized as champions. While WWE has used a free bird rule in the past, allowing any 2 members of a stable to defend tag titles, the rule doesn't seem to apply here. The fabulous Freebirds popularized the rule in the 1980s, and modern groups like the New Day have benefited from it. However, WWE's official website listed Perez and Rodriguez's reign as lasting just 1 day, implying that the titles were essentially handed to Perez, rather than her being added under the Freebird precedent. This development appears to be more about advancing storyline than following strict logic. Later that same night, the Judgment Day officially welcomed Perez into faction after unanimous vote, despite Liv Morgan being absent. The vote cemented Perez's spot in the group and her role as Rodriguez's temporary tag partner. Rodriguez wasn't thrilled with the change and accepted the situation reluctantly after being told that partnering with Perez was the only way she'd remain a champion. The 23-year-old Perez is far from a newcomer, despite her young age. She's already built a solid resume within WWE. At just 21, she became the youngest NXT Women's Champion in history. She's also one of only 3 women to ever win that title more than once. Her breakout moment on the main roster came earlier this year at the Royal Rumble, where she entered at number 2 and lasted until the very end, becoming the final woman eliminated. Her time in the match set a new record, clocking in at 67 minutes and 47 seconds. Adding to her growing list of accolades, ESPN recently named her the Women's Wrestler of the Year for 2024, highlighting her rise as one of WWE's brightest young stars. Now, with the Women's Tag Team Championship storyline unfolding, Perez finds herself on one of the biggest stages yet.
If you love your father, then subscribe the channel, and those who love me show your love by liking and subscribing.